Thanks for staying with us. We're still celebrating International Women's Month, and today, our guest, she's a former governorship aspirant APC in Edo State, a healthcare professional, and decades of global experience and international honors. She is trusted to possess the network and competence that involves training and retraining of fresh graduates on job development skills, assertive training, communication skills, skills for leadership, and team management. Welcome with us, Victoria Amu. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So good to have you.
Hello, everybody.
Love your energy. You came in like so graceful.
Regal.
Yes. Good to have you on the
Thank
show.
you so much.
So tell us, I mean, as I said, we're celebrating International Women's Month, and every day when we see women who are doing great things, we just call them just on the show to inspire young people. So let's start off with your background, where you were raised, and the schools you attended before you moved into your career.
I was born in Lagos, as usual, so I know a lot of Lagos. I grew up Lagos and Benin. I went to Our Lady of Apostles. I went to Mount Carmel Primary School in Butemeta. I lived in the Butemeta region because my father used to be a police commissioner, and my mother worked in railways, so we lived around the Butemeta region. Then after some time, I sojourned into the US. So that's when I had my first degree as an occupational therapist. And I'm doing my doctorate right now. I'm not done with it, but I have lived my whole life as an occupational therapist because it gives me joy and it gives me pleasure. As an occupational therapist, I go into describing my life because that's what I do and that's how I've lived. As an occupational therapist, you work with persons who have physical disabilities. That's somebody who has a cerebrovascular accident, stroke, your stroke. Young adults, older adults. You work in physical disabilities. You work with persons who have stroke, who have traumatic brain injury. When we work in pediatrics, we work with children who have Down syndrome, children who have polio, who have mental retardation, the ones Nigerians call imbecile. They're actually not imbecile because there is strength in everything that they do. You need to look at the person beyond their disability and fish out the strength in them and use that. And the core thing in OT is that individuals are lined up to know. You must know your strengths and you must know your weaknesses. You must use your strength to build up your weakness to a state where it's functional. It doesn't become depressive.
Right.
And then when we work with persons with psychosocial, there are a lot of people that we live with today that are schizophrenics. You know?
They don't know.
Undiagnosed, yes. There are a lot of people we live today with that have bipolar. They have extreme highs, they have extreme lows. You know? But in Nigeria concept, nobody is tagged a psychiatric patient until they start to tear off their clothing. You know? That's the difference between a developed country and an underdeveloped country. In a developed country, your family members take you into the psych center and say, this person needs to be on tablets, maybe when they're on pills. And it's not something derogatory. No. It's something that will help you have more years. You will not have suicidal tendencies. So, and then when you have these children who are imbeciles, in Nigeria, even the affluent, the elites, when they have children who are they call imbecile. I don't call them imbecile, I call them physically challenged. They relegate them to the back.
They hide them.
Yes, they hide them, you know. And most times, these children don't live as long as their siblings. Somewhere along the line, either the child commits suicide or they give the child something that the child ingests and becomes sick. And, you know, but the thing is that they are not paraded. Like you say, oh, meet my daughter, meet my son. Those children are not paraded. But those children have a lot of strength in them that if you took the time to get to know them and pull out the strength in them, you'll be able to. And then we work with persons with fractures, persons with roadside accidents, you know, women who are pregnant and going to antenatal and are depressed. You have had women who give birth to children, and after giving birth to the children, they say, don't bring the child near me. I don't want to post-stress disorder. And then you have young girls who have been raped. You know, you have regions where you have children who are married out at 10 years, 12 years old, and they do not have the ability to carry children, and they come down with VVS, their bladder starts leaking. So you have all of those things. So those are my sweet areas that I work. So it helps me interwove into different areas and different aspects of myself.
So you have given a totally new definition to occupational therapy for me, because we used to just think it's those people that work with companies or any occupational hazard that might have happened until as you broke it down now. So how receptive are we in Nigeria to your profession? How is it as lucrative here as it is where you studied?
I came back to Nigeria for the first time 2005. I came back with my young children. They were very young, and I didn't want to stay with them in the US because, the developed country do not have the kind of social support that we have here.
Yeah.
Here, you have your aunties, your sisters, somebody will come and live with you. You can go to work, you can come back, your children are still safe. Those days, not now, So your children are still safe. But there, you must routine your work to the timing of your children. So for me, when I came back 2005, I came back and I just graduated 2000 as an occupational therapist. And my professor had said, what do you want to be? I said, I want to go and set up occupational therapy in my country. Yes, I want to be the head of department. I want to take occupational therapy. And here I was a fresh graduate,
With all the dreams.
With all the dreams, yes. He said, your dream must be bigger than your situation. You cannot, you cannot. I was a student. I could have said, I'm going for youth service, I'm going for this. He said, but you must put your dream higher than. Yeah. So I came back to Nigeria, brought my 2 children with me, and then walked into University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I said, hey, I'm an occupational therapist, I can get you internal generated funds. There are a lot of children with disability. You see, I talk a lot. Yeah. And then the MD said, okay, I'll hire you. What do you want? I said, I want you to give me this. Yes, because I negotiate what I want. Yeah. Yes. I want you to give me housing. I want you to give me car. Really? Oh, you're asking a lot, madam. We really don't do this. I said, I'm new in this society. So I came back. When I came back in 2005, there were only 2 occupational therapists who at least have a bachelor's degree. You had hospitals, training assistants. And that's where I get upset with doctors. You never see them in hospital training assistant doctor. Have you ever seen it?
No, never. No.
But they will take all the other professions and be training assistants. So when I came in, you had this bunch of assistants working in psychiatric centers because these psych doctors go outside Nigeria. Psych doctors are very proficient. They go outside Nigeria, they get scholarship. They get funding, they get grants. So, and the grants in psychiatric hospital, you must have an occupational therapist. But what is more in Nigeria is your physiotherapist.
That's the one we know.
That's what you know. Yes, that's what you know. And the physiotherapists now do occupational therapy job. Make it impossible for occupational therapists to get hired. So when I came in, UBTH hired me. I started working in UBTH, started reshuffling things because there were 2. One was a 79-year-old woman who retired from the army, and she's in Obafemi Awolowo University. So she was the only one training. And because she was the only one with the qualification, she could only take 5 students per semester, yes. So they said, come and go to Obafemi Awolowo. I said, you guys are not going to pay me, so don't let me go and teach. Let me stay here. Those ones you teach, I can have them for industrial training, attachments, yes. I'll be able to give them perfect hands-on training and help them. So I was the only occupational therapist that came. So I was domiciled in UBTA. And then you had all these people who were assistants. And when you come to clinic, they are struggling, which is good because the Nigerian professional, who is a professional, really surges hard to demonstrate their skill, surging. And I said, oh boy, you're an assistant. I want to work with you very well. Go out and go and get a BSc. Madam, what do you mean? We know what you know. I said, you can't know what I know. You don't have the body of knowledge that I have. And what happened? A whole bunch of them went out. They went to India. We had a partnership with a university in India. They went to India. India gave them a BSc, and they came back. Oh my God. And
It was different.
It was different. And then I became the president of the Occupational Therapy Association.
Just like you dreamt.
My dear. And then I surged into all of the teaching hospitals.
Okay.
So a lot of the teaching hospitals today have a small unit that is, we're still struggling because physiotherapists get patients to convince patients that there's no use for OT. And there's OT. What do we do as OT?
Let me ask you,
Yeah.
with everything you're doing in this occupational therapy, you were saying it with so much joy. I could feel that this is a passion of yours and you're really doing well.
Yes.
Why did you now decide to venture into politics? How were you able to, thinking you would be able to cope with the rigors of politics, and then this one? Were you at some point considering letting go of the occupational therapy if you had emerged?
No, I hadn't. Remember, I told you I was at UBTH. I had to leave UBTH to go and work in a state hospital.
Okay.
And everybody thought I was crazy. So how do you leave UBTH? UBTH is a federal...
It's the height of
Yes, they have more money. I said for me, going to a state hospital will help my profession get the indigenes of my state benefit from
Your expertise.
my expertise. So I went into the state hospital. And the state hospital was at that time my cousin was the permanent secretary, gave me a soft landing because that's what Nigeria is all about. Made sure I could get my department and get it going. But what am I going to tell you? I missed all of that. I still find my people, even in the hospital. Most people can't pay for healthcare. There's no insurance. When you go abroad, there is healthcare insurance that takes care of it. So when the person becomes sick in Nigeria, the person can't pay for healthcare. They go home, somebody sees them, somebody does not see them. Their situation becomes worse than they started from. So going into politics for me was to be able to reach my people. The goal is always to reach my people. The goal is always to better my people's life. What policies do government have on healthcare? You see women going to a hospital and they die at childbirth. Should any woman die at childbirth in this 21st century? No. Do you have doctors in the local government, in the hospital, in primary healthcare? No, you have doctors once a week. In some states that are good. Or you have doctors once in 2 weeks. So, and then, do the generality of my people need health insurance to be able to access? If you go to your neighbor and she say, oh, I'm sick, or I'm having this, have you gone to the hospital? What will be the first answer?
I have money.
Yes, sir.
No, I went to the chemist.
I went to the chemist, yeah.
So why would people not see a hospital as a first point of call?
Because of time, let me get a few more questions in for you.
So, I just wanted if you could elaborate on your political journey.
Okay.
You got all the way to being a governorship aspirant. Is that where you started off from, or had you started at the more local level?
Yes, I started when I came in and I was working in UBTH. Comrade Governor Adam Soshomole was coming in as a governor. So I liked his policies. And he was a people person. Anywhere you see him gravitate to, everybody is running towards him. Everybody wants to be part of him and share in what he has to say. So I started playing politics. I started moving around with them. And when he became governor, he made me his senior special assistant. I was senior special assistant on social mobilization. What did I do? I made sure all government projects were trickled down to the local government, to the grassroots. If the governor is doing roads, I say these roads have been done. If the governor is employing people and putting healthcare professionals, I'll say this is this. If the fire unit and security is an issue, I'll say this is government this. So I started as a senior special assistant to the comrade governor. Yes, the governor of Edo State. And I was there for 8 years with the comrade governor. Wow. After that, I came into Governor Baseki for 1 year. And I did not love what I did. My experience was different with Comrade Adam Soshomole and Governor Baseki. So I decided to resign. I went back to my work. Then I stopped to contest for House of Assembly. Okay. I didn't get it, But I came out with a lot of lessons, because in anything you do, however positive or negative, you must
learn.
come out with lessons that will build you.
Yeah.
You must come out with lessons that will soar you higher than where
Let's
you
talk
are.
about family in a second. I know you wanted to finish up the story.
Yes, I want to finish up how I went to the governor. So I sat down one day, I said, we must have a female governor. Is it not right?
It
Yes,
is.
we have
You
to.
make a good
Yes,
female governor.
we must have a female governor. Nigeria must come to a point where there is this twinning thing. If you have a governor, you must have a female as a deputy governor. If you don't have a female as a deputy governor, your SSG, your secretary to government or your chief of staff
Must be
you
female.
must put women in key positions. And they cannot be strangers in politics. Because that's what we are seeing now. When you clamor, when I come on television now, I say, women, women, women. When they want to put women, it is their sister they will put there. It is one of those women in their harems that they will put there. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
But what does that do? That weakens the link, the women's link, the movement of women in places. Because if you were 5 men like this, one woman will be struggling to be in their midst.
Struggling to be heard.
They're struggling to be part of them.
First of all,
one woman will be struggling to be part of them. And then when that woman struggles to be part of them, she has fenced everybody out. Ooh. So for me, going in for governorship was to correct things like that.
Yeah.
There must be more women inclusion in politics because a lot of women, why do we have so much women in the banking industry? Why do we have them in the judiciary? No. Why do we have women in the nursing profession? Why not men? Why do we have women in the medical profession? Why not all men?
Let's talk about family for a second because of time. We don't have all day.
Next time you should call me back.
You've already talked to your fans already. So let's talk about family, your husband, your children.
Yes.
How supportive have they been throughout your job and career, and how are things now today?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Sure, you're glowing.
Yes, I'm glowing. I used to be a single mother. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
I just married in the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
We see the way the great.
This is honeymoon glow.
We like mature love.
So it's been very supportive.
Okay.
You know, my kids have seen me grow.
Yeah.
You know, from the days of politics when I stay late night. And I used to leave them at home. And one of my political leaders, a woman, Senator Oko, she's dead now. She said, Victoria, if you're going for political meeting, take your children with you. Don't keep them home because they will not know what you are doing. And it's very important for your children to know what you are doing. So I go and this political meeting. I took my children, my girls, my last 2 girls. I took them with me. And they got there, they saw people shouting, what's wrong with you? You're this, you're that, you're that. The next time I go for a meeting, I say, come, let's go to a meeting. Say, that place where they shout. But you know what that meant? That means that if somebody comes to my kids to tell them, your mother is always late night, so she must be going somewhere, or she must be doing... They say, you really don't know my mother.
Yeah.
Yes, you really don't know. She's in a meeting, and that's where she is. So my kids have been supportive. They've been there. Because for us to soar high as women, the wings with which we fly and we should fly is the men that...
Auntie Victoria, calm down. You married 2 years ago.
Yes. Tell us about the
nails.
She's really glowing.
Like, I don't understand. This old love, this mature love.
Yeah.
How
She's
tell
not
us
that
about
old
it?
now.
It's nice, especially when you marry your friend.
Hi.
You've known him for years.
Yes, it's nice. You know, you get to understand each other. You get to know
Travel,
you get to travel, have time. I love dancing. So if I'm in town, if I'm not in the US, he takes me to clubs and I do clubbing.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you guys, do you dance on this studio or you don't?
My dances and boosting the
Ashaka
dance.
is my artist.
Are you You've inspired me. So
You have to take up
I see your nails. You have different colors.
Yes, so yes, so.
Like
Just take
people
your
in this
time.
medical field, you people like dancing. So I met this doctor, I'm trying to remember her name, who said, they say you people should move body. You are finding it hard to dance. And because she was addressing, she's Muslim. She wears this small cap and she was like addressing my hijab that, do you dance? I said, I do. She said, hey, then you should dance every day. I was like that. He said, how hard can it be? That's the exercise your doctors advise. So you people in this medical field,
you guys,
like you do it all the time.
How do you celebrate your love? Yeah, because we like this kind of stories inspire us.
Yes,
What do you guys
love
do?
stories.
Give us an
We
idea.
remember good moments. And when we do, we go out to a place and we just hang out. We do a lot of like hanging out in places because it's just us. he has his child. He has had his child. Yeah. I have had my children. So it's just us, about us, and about us understanding.
Yeah. So I'm listening to you, and I'm wondering, what would you say you have learned and carried into this particular marriage that you feel, if I had not gone through that, maybe this marriage, this thing I have now won't have worked, or because of what I've been through, this marriage is working better? What would you say that?
I've learned to be more patient, although my husband says I'm not patient. I've learned to be more tolerant, you know, more tolerance. I've learned to trust, you know, because sometimes you just see a situation and you make up your own conclusion. And then my husband will say, you asked me. Stop concluding. I don't know where you get that conclusion that you think this is what I am doing or this is what I mean to do. So that has helped me. And maybe the fact that because at this point, we just do the things we love.
Yeah.
You know, and we've been able to block out peer pressure.
Yeah.
Family pressure.
At this point, how would they affect you even?
No. But you know, I'm also a lady who loves wigs. Because I'm coming to this show, I wear different colors. I wear blue.
You can see red sticking out.
I wear green. I wear blonde.
I got you.
So everybody looks, when I wear it, everybody looks at my husband and say,
oh, wow.
They judge you based on how you
do. So they say, how do you tolerate her? But he understands that's my personality.
Let me ask you this question, because there are lots of women watching TV right now. They love your glow.
Yes.
They're over 50 or maybe over 60, and they're not able to be here. Joy, peace, harmony, and just like, I've raised my kids, I'm still loving life. What advice did you give to them? Because how did you get to the point? I don't want to believe that you've raised me like this from day one.
No, I wasn't.
It's got to be somewhere where maybe you were depressed and somehow you're now this woman we see. And people want to be like that in 50s and 60s.
Yes. I used to tell my kids, I said, in fact, if I know what I know now, I should have done it. I should have known. I should have been free 25 years ago. You know, because I was a single parent, raised my kids by myself. You know, no support. You know, but in all of those years, it was all of my work. I wasn't as glowing as this. So I wasn't the girl you see and you say, this girl is pretty. No, because I had the drowning of school fees to pay. I had to mentally keep my children stable.
Life.
You know, to be able to face the world. I have a child that's pretty much heavy. You know, that's a fat girl. She's the chef in the house. She went to culinary school. So I had to, from young, teach her how to be self-confident, how to be assertive, you know. So even when you tell her you're fat, she'll say, thank you. It doesn't matter. And it truly doesn't matter. It doesn't change her mood. It doesn't change. So all of those years, I have struggled with keeping my family, keeping my kids in line, helping them to choose a career. The goal was so that they will feed themselves and I can enjoy myself.
Yeah, and look at it.
Yes. Now,
So what do I tell all these women? Please, find a partner if you can find a partner. The world is not bad, but you can enjoy yourself. Finding a partner does not mean that you are reduced now, unless you want to reduce yourself. Yes. Where you now say, I'm not going out. I wear bomb shorts, so girl.
How fast?
I wear sexy clothes.
You go to church at all?
I do. No, I'm a winner. I do. There were times that I used to go to Shiloh. I have not done it in the last 2 years now because I've been half abroad and half here. I used to sleep on the floor. The first time I went to Shiloh, I slept on the floor. My children, we got there, I took my children. My children said, Mommy, where's the room we're going to sleep in? I said, there's no room. Mommy, we're going to sleep on the floor. I said, yes. But those days have paid off.
You have earned your blessings.
Yes, I've earned my blessing. It was talking for me. There was one particular year. I told God, I'm always in Shiloh. I'm always praying. Morning service, I'm there. Afternoon service, nothing changed. In fact, that year got worse. But when God is
started
ready for
coming.
you. The main thing is when God is ready for you,
Oh.
He's ready for you.
We are
You don't-
inspired. We are inspired. Thank you very much.
Lovely, lovely to
Pleasure
meet
having
you.
you. We'd love to bring you back.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes.
So
Come and
we'll
gist
take
with
your
us.
numbers.
Yes.
We'll be buzzing you.
Yes.
Because we need some energy from you.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. It's a
so
pleasure
much.
having you.
It's a pleasure.
That's all we can take on today's show. I hope you learned a few things as we
They are
have.
loving how you-
And you are motivated. Those of you, especially in your 50s and 60s, that feel the world is on your shoulders. Listen, life is beautiful. You can enjoy life, make your decisions, adult decisions, and you just be grateful you did. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
They are loving